Hello and welcome everyone. We are doing another study session here. This week was, well, the one today is a little bit later in the day, just because I was out with friends. Just one of my friends is, well, let me just change and then we'll go. Welcome. I'm Uriel Lopez. Thank you for joining me again today. So this study session is a little bit later in the day. One of my friends is going to be moving down to the States, so we decided to have lunch. Just a few of us, a few of our old training partners wanted to have lunch, see him before he leaves, and yeah, just hang out with him. So this has actually been like the first chance that I've been able to sit down and do the study session for today. But anyways, for today we are going to do a match between Roberto Cyborg Abreu and Jackson Souza. Souza. I think it's Souza, not Souza. Well, we'll see anyways. So let's just get into it here. So you can see here, it's from the No-gi Championships 2019 World Championship No-gi. And yeah, this is in the open weight division. So open weight division is normally, just like it sounds, open weight. So anybody from light featherweight all the way up to ultra heavyweight, I guess, is their highest weight division, can compete in this. It's normally only the podium finishers that are able to actually take part of it. I'm not I've seen it at different tournaments where it is you can just sign up for it from the get-go, but normally I think the IBJJF does it that if you place on the podium, then you are able to sign up for the open weight division. So yeah, I think these guys are in the heavyweight division. Maybe, I don't know what they were weighed in as for this one, but you can see it's a 10-minute match. It's a no-gi match, and it's also using points, so there's no sub-only rule set here. So yeah, let's just get into it. Here we go. Cyborg's here on the right, okay, and we see Jackson Souza on the left here with the anklet. So always trying to maintain your head positioning with your opponent. You don't normally want to get lower, meaning you don't want your head to get lower than theirs normally. So you'll see a lot of jiu-jitsu guys go head to head to try, and maybe they'll do it here. Yeah, right there. There we go with the one collar tie. You can call that a 50-50 position. It's a bit more common in Muay Thai that you would do it, because it's a good way to really control somebody's neck and control somebody's arms to go for, well, if it's Muay Thai rule set, you can go for elbows and knees and stuff like that. But a lot of wrestling guys do this as well. I'm not sure what the intricacies of what wrestling guys would normally do in this position, but with Muay Thai we normally want to keep the elbows in a little bit tighter so people can't swim underneath the arm, and we want to cup not the neck itself. We actually want to cup a little bit higher on the head to make it easier to move around, to move the head around. Oh, that actually looked like an elbow. So let's see what he does. Boom. Oh, kinda. So there. Let me see if I can slow it down here. So Cyborg makes a move, maybe trying to push the arm underneath, the elbow, to get this one off. Sousa tries to go over the top, but does it? Mm, yeah. So he tries to do like a shrug escape there. So he's trying to use his upper arm to shrug his shoulder and then force the hand to slide off the head. Um, you'll see that normally used for like Russian ties. If the person's grabbing both arms on that side, they shrug their shoulders to go for the Russian tie. Here he wasn't grabbing the arm, so he was, I guess he was just trying to rip that off. Here fighting for head positioning again. One collar tie, necktie. I think for the higher weight classes, they don't like being on bottom. I think we saw that with Gabby Garcia last week. Just because they don't want to use, they don't want to feel another person's weight on top of them. I haven't seen too many big guys that actually want to be on bottom in most situations. So even the old school jiu-jitsu guys from like the 90s, they'll try and use more judo, not so much wrestling, but a lot more judo that I remember seeing, to try and take a person down to the ground, rather than pull guard most of the time. So here they actually have the tie on the same side, so it's right hand, Cyborg's right hand to Jackson's left hand. Cyborg has the inside position here, so you can actually try and open his elbow to rip that grip off, but that actually exposes that side to swim underneath. So it goes back down to the arm to make it easier to control, so that his head doesn't get whipped around. There we go, that shrug again. Okay, we're back into that 50-50 position here. Goes over top. So the difference between this underhook grip and the overhook grip, the underhook grip, you're normally trying to either push up or push the arm across. You can try and push it open for a single leg or a double leg takedown, but just this head connection here is gonna make it difficult, because once Cyborg feels his elbow open, I imagine that he'll feel like that moment when Jackson is gonna just gonna dip down to go for the single leg, and he can sprawl a bit harder. I was talking to one of my friends today, and he was saying that for wrestling defenses, instead of sprawling straight back, the high level wrestlers actually push their hips forward to try and beat force against force, and then sort of take away some of the explosiveness in wrestling shoot, and then sprawl down. So that's kind of interesting to think about. Now overhook grip here. It's normally just to stop the person from really moving that arm from left to right. You really can't rip it off. The same way, you're normally just trying to stop that hand from moving in most situations. Some people like to use it as like into a throw, either inside leg throw or inside leg trip. I normally try and go for an outside leg trip if I have a connection like this. Oh, and we see that outside leg trip right there. So let's go back. So this is what I was talking about, using the hand to whip the head around, right? That's why Jackson was trying to keep downward pressure on this elbow, but you can see Cyborg does a real quick shoulder hit with his left shoulder to see what Jackson will do. Then once he has that information, he does it one more time and gets a trip out, sticks out this right foot and trips. So let's see it in slow motion. You see his hand try and go for the inside. Here's gonna be, yeah, boom. So he knows he already led Jackson over to that side, right? He has more of an inside position now. Boom. Jackson moved just half a step inside. Now that pull is going to be a lot stronger, because now the pull is no longer sideways. It is actually downwards, where Cyborg can actually create more leverage on the neck and on the head. So we see that step. Boom. Pulls straight down, and he's already going for the trip. Jackson has nowhere to go with that leg, so he posts his hand out. And boom, lands on his hip. So great awareness with the hand here, to know that if he lands on his elbow on his back, he's most likely gonna lose the position and get into side control or probably some form of guard. Puts his hand on the ground just to make sure he can still keep his hips in play, and make sure that Cyborg is not gonna bulldoze him and crush him here. So you can see Cyborg trying to pull him down, but Jackson's trying to use that same tide to like pull himself back up. Ooh. Cool. Let's see it one more time here. So that was the setup. So let's see the setup again. Boom. There we go. That looked beautiful. Head positioning again. Tie on the same side. Now Jackson has that inside position with his arm, with the collar tie there. And that's the one I was talking about, when someone grabs the back of your neck. You use either one of your hands to try and grab that same side and shrug your shoulder over. So let's go at just 50% speed there. Oops, let's go back one step. Yeah, maybe trying to go for a Russian tie, but doesn't get it. Forward. Nice, and Jackson tries to go for his own inside trip. Let me see, what type of grips did he have here? Yeah, so he has that collar grip. Cyborg's legs are moving, so that's normally the best time to actually go for this trip, when if a person's already set on the ground, the effectiveness of the trips is going to be a lot less than if the weight is already moving from foot to foot. So you can see he's already planted on the ground. Boom. It's very easy to like just shift your weight, especially if you're able to hold the person's head on that side. So maybe half a second earlier, he could have maybe taken him down. Going back to head positioning here. Yeah, and you see there on the bottom, Cyborg got advantage, I guess, for the foot trip, which almost led to takedown. Ooh, big push. Yeah, they're really fighting for the top positioning here. Yeah, you might not understand like how heavy a person can be if they can grab their neck and just put all your weight on top of you. Making sure to track the hand as best I can. Oh, he goes for that outside trip again. Let's see if there was anything different from that one. Same sort of position, the legs are squared up. This time when he pulls, the leg is already planted on the ground. Right, so that was just a half second too late compared to the one we saw earlier here. Can I try and go for it? Where is it? Yeah, maybe I'll show it later. Boom. Then right away gets the tie offs just to try and reset the situation. Inside trip. Shrug again. And then there you see that a fake single leg attempt there. Alright, so he got the inside, tried to take that penetration step, but didn't really feel like he didn't feel like he could get it, or it was just like a fake to see what Jackson's reaction would be. And Sousa goes for his own, but you can see as he does, Cyborg already has both underhooks. So his hands are low, trying to make sure if he does come down, boom, Sousa tries to bring Cyborg's hands up, okay, but because they're grabbing each other's fingers, like so, it makes it difficult. Boom, whips him off, and then there you see both underhooks lifting from the triceps, I guess it would be, to just prevent that takedown. So you see that lean there that Cyborg is doing. He's not as bent over as Jackson is. I think Jackson is the bigger of the two men, meaning taller of the two men. But just having a little bit of a spine bend here, you're not curling your back, you're keeping your back straight, and you're letting the other person, like, you're hanging off the other person's neck, and just having an extra 20 or 30 pounds of a person hanging off your neck makes it very difficult to posture up. Once you do posture up, they can start going for takedowns with that foot trip. The only real effective one that we've seen has been the outside foot trip by Cyborg so far. Ooh, I think they both tried the same thing there. So, fighting the hands again, ripping that off. Circling. Yeah. Yeah, you can see they both tried to take that penetration step, inward. So what I mean by that is making sure that your step is as close to the person's feet and hips as possible, so that you can continue to drive forward for a double leg, right? They both take that first step, but Cyborg is actually just a little bit faster, so Jackson hesitates for half a second. Boom, there we go. But is able to get the sprawl and then the outside leg. Boom. Let's see it one more time. There, boom. They both drop down at the same amount of time, but you can see Cyborg's head gets lowered down, making it a little bit easier for him to drive through. Penetration step is not as deep as I think he would like, and Jackson's already trying to push off the back foot. Boom. The head tie. Once a person's going backwards, you see that he's going for the outside leg and pushing the far shoulder to maybe go for either a single leg or try and go for like a knee tap. So you sort of twist the body so that you push the knee either inwards or back in towards you, and then you can push the shoulder away. A quick type of takedown doesn't normally rely on a lot of strength, but more good timing of when the person is retreating backwards. Turns the angle, and then they get back up. No full points awarded yet. I think if he would have continued that takedown, if he would have continued that there, I don't think he would, Jackson would have gotten any points for that, just because they were already towards the edge of the mat. So even this part can be just grueling. Just holding somebody up, trying to make sure you don't get thrown from side to side, is grueling on the arms. This was never my favorite part of jiu-jitsu, just because I'd be so dead tired from just doing this. Especially if a guy is really good at blocking everything you're doing. Ooh, let's go back one step. There he goes for that double leg again. Let's try and see it. He's ripping the hands upwards. Boom. So here comes the setup. There we go, like a knee tap there. Same thing Jackson was doing, but he didn't continue forward. Hands are low. Boom. So you see how he brought his hands back and then circled underneath to try and get that double leg takedown. So just reacts accordingly. I don't know if this arm is underneath the shoulder, but at least this one is. So he's gonna use this arm to turn the shoulder as much as he can, and maybe try and cut the corner so that Cyborg ends up falling onto his left side. No, but he goes back to the collar tie instead. Just head positioning here. You can see two purple belts go at it at the back there. Tries to drive forward. Boom. Yeah, and can't continue the takedown anymore. And then the reset. No, I should probably go back to normal speed. That wrist grip. Jackson's really trying to prevent that wrist grip again. I'm sure Cyborg doesn't want to win on just one advantage, so you can see him try and go a bit more for the double legs now. He tries to grab the head to maybe bring it down and try and go for a guillotine, or just try and go for head control. Hand over top, pulling down, yeah. Head control guillotine. Jackson realizes that and instantly postures at his head. Off to the side. It's getting tied up. Both men have the collar. Ooh, Jackson goes for a takedown, but once again goes to the edge of the mat. Let's try and see that setup. Oopsie. There we go. Pushes there. See Cyborg trying, just not planted yet, and goes for it. And you can see he takes like a little stutter step there. So just to confuse the timing of his opponent. So you can see as he brings his leg forward, he just drops down and pushes off that back left foot. Boom, there. Trying to take a deeper penetration step. Cyborg realizes this. This time he doesn't have his arm underneath both armpits. He actually has it. He has his right arm underneath the chest this time. So more of the bicep is actually connected to Jackson's left side of Jackson's face. what's his name? Jean-Jacques Machado. He has a sneaky ninja choke from there. He lifts the leg up. He moves the head on the other side to try and create opposite force. But they're already outside the area, so they gotta stop there. There's 3 minutes left. Jackson has to push the pace. Goes for it one more time, but but Cyborg actually gets his hands underneath both arms. You can see more of a sense of urgency here in Jackson Souza. Trying to go for that takedown a bit more. Cyborg probably knows this already, so he's just trying to pick his moment to actually do something. Arm drag, try. Hold down. Ooh. Jackson just gets so low on those. Look at this. Look how low he's getting. Yeah, it's so hard to drive forward once your knees are on the ground too. You gotta like keep moving the legs forward. So that's why we practice those wrestling shoots most of the time. Because if you can keep your knees off the ground, that means you can keep pushing forward with your legs. That's easier said than done though, especially against a big guy like Cyborg here. So. Not surprising that he can't really drive forward as much. Going for it again. Boom. Head control here. Oh, 10-finger guillotine. 10-finger. Oh, let's go back one step here. So that sense of urgency is gonna cause your opponent to make mistakes in most situations. So you can see Cyborg's just bringing back, seeing what he does. He already knows he's going for those double legs, right? Because the trips haven't been working for Jackson. So those double legs are what he's decided to really focus on. So he drives again. Boom. This time, Cyborg actually sprawls back. His feet are actually wide enough apart to make sure that Jackson can't clamp around both legs. Okay, he has this overhook here, and he's gonna start driving his knee towards the ground. That's just to create a better angle for himself to make sure that Jackson can't grab this outside leg with his forearm. Right, and then we see him turn back in just a little bit after he secured this overhook. And I think he's also secured an underhook now as well, driving the hips down towards the ground, trying to turn. You can see this chin strap meaning just using your hand to cup underneath the chin. Very, very strong grip that you can do with both hands. As he comes back up, oh, maybe it's a gable grip instead. Yeah, it looks like a gable grip instead. But that left arm is actually right underneath the chin. So now Jackson's trying to really deal with that grip, and Cyborg actually switches to the inside position. So now both of his arms are underneath the shoulders, and he's connecting his hands underneath the neck. So a 10-finger guillotine is normally when you use all 10 fingers. You're either grabbing like this. I've seen it most of the time when people interlock their fingers and like roll either the top knuckles here right along the person's Adam's apple, or like across the esophagus there. Really sucks, because it feels like you're gonna throw something up from there. Not a very good feeling if you're getting it done to you. Great feeling if you're able to pull it off against someone. And you see that chin strap there. Boom, and he does it with one hand too. Double. So you can see like he's trying to push his hips in and roll his hands back. Right, Jackson turns from side to side, rolls from side. But you can see just that one hand is enough to actually finish it. So that was amazing. Right at the end. So a sense of urgency will, like I said before, it will normally cause your opponent to start making mistakes. Right? And then we see him go. If that trip didn't work, was it here? Was it here? Where was it? I'm trying to find where that trip was. It's hard. I should write down where these things are. But anyways, if that trip didn't happen, we probably would have seen a different match. Sousa probably wouldn't have felt the need to push the pace a little bit more, because he wouldn't have been losing on one advantage. And then yeah, that probably wouldn't have led him to get that 5-finger guillotine there. So trying to keep a good frame of mind here. Oopsie. So trying to keep a good frame of mind, trying to make sure that you follow your game plan, and like once you do feel that sense of urgency, try not to make those mistakes. But these are high-level competitors, so mistakes are gonna be what win and lose for you in tournament matches like this. But yeah, this one went a little bit faster because we didn't see too many exchanges of positions. A lot of head movement that we saw, a lot of head butting as well. So yeah, if you guys are doing no-gi, really try and work on your wrestling and make sure you know how to deal with collar ties. And then yeah, that'll be it for me today. Thank you for watching. This one was just a little bit shorter, like I mentioned before, just because there wasn't a lot of exchange of positions, and really only one or two moves really won the match in that position. At the highest level, when people are so close together in skill level, that can be what really decides the match for most of it. And you saw right there, as soon as Jackson decided to start going for double leg takedowns and just do them over and over again, Cyborg was ready for that last one, and managed to get a guillotine, set himself up for a guillotine. So yeah, anyways, thank you for watching me today. Yeah, sorry for making this a little bit later in the day, but like I said, I was meeting some friends of mine for lunch. Yeah, it was around lunchtime. So yeah, this was actually the first moment that we actually got to that I actually got to sit down and do this. Anyways, thank you for watching. Please subscribe if you want to see more of these study sessions. I think next week I'll do another no-gi one. I haven't decided which one yet, but yeah, we'll end up doing another no-gi one. Tomorrow I'm gonna be releasing a stretching video, so that one will be number 7, 6 or 7. I think it'll be number 6. I think the length of that one will be about 30 minutes. So if you want to do some stretching at home, there's also a playlist on my YouTube channel where you can follow along with some stretches that I do during my stretching classes on Sundays. And then yeah, that'll be it for me. Just trying to remember what I'm working on the upcoming week. I don't know. But anyways, hopefully I'll see you guys next week. Have a good day.